Welcome to another in our series of felting videos. This is Sue Bunch from Back to Back Fiber Products, and I want to introduce you to our new little felted friend here. I call him the house mouse. A friend of mine introduced me to the idea of doing a felted mouse, and I thought it was such a clever idea that I came up with my own little mouse. I'll turn him around here so you can see what he looks like. And I started out with felting a little heart for him to hold. And then I thought it might be fun to add other little felted things that he could hold throughout the year for different seasons. And you can see I've made a whole lot of them here. Here's a little beach ball for the summertime. I have a shamrock for March, some flowers for the spring, a little acorn here, an Easter egg, decorated an Easter egg, and a little candy cane for the Christmas season. And I thought it might just be fun to call him a house mouse and have him sit around, and each season could change the little decoration that he holds. You could probably think of a lot of different ones on your own. Could even make little signs for him to hold, to give little messages to your family for having a good day or for somebody's birthday, something like that. So let's get started. Let's talk about some of the materials that you'll need to have. Let me set these little decorations down here so I can show you some of the materials that you'll need to collect to make this project. First of all, you'll need a piece of foam as a foam work surface, because this is a needle felted project, and you'll need to have a piece of sturdy foam. You'll also need a felting needle if you've never used one before. These needles have barbs at this end. They look like little fish hooks under a microscope, but as you punch through animal fibers, you can sculpt with it as we've done here. You'll also need a selection of fibers. You'll need some white fiber, either alpaca or wool, something or a combination of, that you can use for the body of the mouse here. And then a selection of colors. I've got a whole lot of different colors here of roving that can be used for some of the little decorations that your little house mouse might hold for the different seasons. So first off, we're going to have to build the body. So when you come back, you'll have your foam work surface, your felting needle, and your white roving, and we'll get started making the body of our mouse. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the beginning of learning how to felt this little house mouse. We'll turn them around again so you can take a look at them. And I'm going to give you some ideas of how I went about making this one. And it might give you some ideas of making any other kind of a little animal that you might like. You might want to change him up from a mouse to a rabbit or a squirrel or something like that. But the same techniques can be used throughout, and it makes it fairly easy. If you look at it here, it's made with several different pieces. I've used two different shapes of felted balls, one for the body and one for its head. So you can see I've got a couple already finished here. Here's the body, and here's the head. So there's our two pieces we need for the main part of the body. So let's take a look at some of the other pieces that we'll need to add to it. What about the face here? We want it a little bit more shaped like a mouse than just a little round ball. So we'll need to have some little pieces for cheeks, for his nose and his ears. So you can see here I have felted little ear pieces that I'm going to add on to the head shape. You can see about the size they are, and I leave a little of the loose roving at the end to attach that. We'll show how to do that later. And then I have two little shapes here that I like to use to put for his cheeks. See right about here? If you'd like him to have a little bit fuller cheeks. Then I have a little piece, kind of a cone shape, that I'm going to use for the nose. And it's going to be attached like this. And then we'll sculpt around it and shape the head. So that's the head. Then we have, of course, his arms and his tail, which are similarly made. I'll show you. I have some here for the next one I'm going to make to show you. They're long, thin, felted pieces. So there's the arm, and again, I leave a little loose roving to attach it to the body. So there's his two arms, and the tail, you can see, looks very similar, except I just sort of felted it out to a point here at the end. And again, I left a little bit of the loose roving at the end. So there's the arms and the tail. Here's his legs as he's sitting down here. These are his little legs here. So I've made two little pieces. You can see them here, like this. And that's what I'm going to add on for that little part of his leg. And then here's his little feet. And you can see how big they are. And again, as it gets attached, I leave a little bit of loose roving because those are going to be the little feet. So I'm going to set these aside, and we'll talk first about making the body and the head, these balls here. So we're going to take your roving and pull off some pieces. I like to just start kind of small and out, and just, you can always continue to add to it and make it bigger and bigger. Some roving is thin, some is a little bit thicker, but it's the same process. And all I do is start rolling it up, lay it down on my foam work surface and roll it up just a little bit. And then I start punching along here and kind of tuck in the ends as I go. And just continue to punch. Now, of course, if you've never used a felting needle before, you'll need to be careful so that you don't kind of pay close attention, so that you don't poke yourself. Those of us who have been felting for a while, we can tell the rest of you that we've poked ourselves before, but after you get working with it for a while, you sort of kind of know where your hands are in relationship to the needle. And you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just continuing to roll it up and continuing to poke, and you can see how it's like a little snowball growing here. And you just keep working on it and poking along the way until it grows and grows and grows. Now, the more you